Well, hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation with myself, Thomas, and...
Me, Paul.
Yes, he is. And we're watching the finale of The Claws of Axos. It's been a great one, I think, this story. A lot of fun.
What will happen to the Doctor and Joe? Will the Brigadier ever get his pizza?
Yes, do refer to our previous reaction if that reference was lost on you. But yes, so the Master's sending a power surge to Axos, where the Doctor and Joe are.
They won't stand a chance. They will die with Axos. No!
I like that the Brigadier stands up for them there.
Yeah, he's quite fond of them, really.
He may not show it, but he loves them.
Kind of classic image there, Doctor grabbing companion's hand and running.
Yes.
That's a nice shot there. You don't see a lot of that kind of thing, do you?
Yeah.
Moving up from beneath there. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, but you don't see a lot of that stuff in the show, so
yeah.
It stands out.
Adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Where the French say a certain I don't know what.
Axonite, Brigadier, Axonite. You realise that Britain's going to get the blame for all this?
Britain? Or you, Mr. Chin?
Well, if you won't get the ministry, where's Hardiman?
Dead.
I'm sure if he does get the blame, he'll take it on the chin.
Very good. Very good, Paul.
Tell me, Doctor, are you suggesting an alliance?
Why not?
It's like Nick Clegg and David Cameron, isn't it?
That's interesting, isn't it? You can see another room through the door there.
Yeah, what's going on there? I was just about to ask about
It's
that.
like more roundels. That's unusual.
Because that is
You
the
normally
entrance,
expect them
isn't it?
Yeah, normally, yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, look at this.
Oh, yes, the red things.
Oh.
Oh, I like this. That genuinely felt quite nice and tense, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you obviously know with these things like this, these are actually doing these stunts, aren't they?
Exactly.
It's not CGI. Ooh, throwing a grenade. Oh.
Nice. Is that a real car they blew up there? Looks
Probably.
like it, doesn't it?
Word has it that car is still running down a hill somewhere. No.
Just in time to say goodbye.
No, you can't!
I'm sorry, Joe, we must.
We?
Yes. After all, we are both Time Lords. Goodbye, Brigadier. Mr. Chin. Goodbye, Bill. Goodbye, Joe. I shall miss you.
Oh, wow.
No!
Very neat, Doctor. You know, I must say, I never thought that you'd go through that.
If we're going, let's go.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yes, we're being overrun.
Wow. Finally, a dematerialization.
Yeah.
But where are we?
Well, you'll recognize it when you see it. Right, outside. Come on, out!
But you must be mad. Why have you brought us here?
He's played him.
Whoa. What a legend.
There's the Master's TARDIS on the right there.
Yes, that's very clever. I did think the Doctor wasn't just gonna run away. But for a moment you sort of thought, oh, maybe the two of them exploring the galaxy. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I do think the music is mixed a little loud.
Yes, it's quite staccato as well, isn't it? You do notice it, maybe. More so than usual.
So really leaning into the heavy use of the synthesizer now, aren't they?
Yes.
Or the electronic sounds, at least.
Well, it's perfectly simple, Brigadier. A time loop is, it's a time loop. One one passes continually through the same points in time. Passes through the same... Yes. Well, the Axon said they wanted time travel, and now they've got it.
What about the Master?
Well, I sincerely hope he's with them.
Hope.
Well, I can't be absolutely sure. I was pretty busy at the time.
We're going to have another phone call from the Master. Hi, Doctor, I've got the pizza.
No, obviously the Time Lords have programmed the TARDIS always to return to Earth. It seems that I'm some kind of a galactic yo-yo.
That's a great final line.
That is a good final line.
Yeah,
Well,
nice.
so what do you make of that final part and the whole thing?
Yeah, I think that landed it nicely. I like the concept of trapping them in a time loop, and the Doctor sort of trying to make it come across that he managed to break free, and then he's like admits, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of tethered to Earth." Yeah, he's still grounded. But I thought that was a very nice tight story. I really loved the design elements of it. I thought, in particular, the wandering kind of big frond-like creatures covered in vines, the kind of red incarnations of the Axons. I thought they look great, and the pyrotechnics, as you say, when they fired their fronds. Yeah, it just looked great. So it had some great action. It felt like all those episodes needed to be there. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was a really good finish, and I enjoyed all the location stuff with the car with sort of Benton and Yates being chased by the sort of Axons in that form as well. I think that works really well, and I think as well is this the first time I like the way the thing is done with the sort of time thing. I don't know if is that the first time we've seen sort of something used like this in the show. I can't think if the TARDIS has been utilised as a sort of thing before in such a way. Feels like the show has done similar things since then, definitely, but I don't know if this is the first time they've used the TARDIS to do something like that. But I also really like, I think there is a moment where you could genuinely buy that the Doctor is wanting just to like leg it with the Master, because you see at the end, he would have just gone if he could afterwards. He wouldn't have just come back. So he doesn't feel like, even though it was a bluff that he was going to kind of have an alliance with the Master and it was just to trap the Axons, it wasn't a bluff that he was just going to disappear off afterwards.
Yes.
So, which is interesting, isn't it? Because the Brigadier, despite all the things he says, as you mentioned at the end of the last episode, you can see actually he's still concerned for the Doctor, and Joe clearly cares for the Doctor, but the Doctor's a bit like, yeah, see ya, I'll miss you, Joe, but anyway, I'm off. Like, yeah,
I was intrigued by that because I bought it in the moment that he did actually want to run away, and he as you say, he was obviously trying to trap the Master, but the running away part, it does betray the fact that he wants to break free, doesn't he? And not be trapped on Earth.
I think, we've seen it a couple of times now, just things in certain stories we've seen so far, is that where you get that sense of the Doctor, obviously we know he's exiled to Earth and trapped on Earth, but there's the sense of him, obviously he doesn't want to be there, but he actively doesn't want to be there. So and it just seeing it all in succession like this, and it's if you ever, I don't know if you've ever been in a group of people where there's that one person who just doesn't want to be there. And so they're not gonna invest the time in getting to know any of you because they can't be bothered. And there's a little bit of that going on with the Doctor, which is interesting because I don't know if what we haven't seen a huge amount in Pertwee yet, I don't think, is like disconnected from those around him, he wants to get away from them.
Oh, sorry, you
change over time. Oh, is that a pause?
sorry, you cut out a bit there. I lost you at the. You said the thing we haven't seen in Pertwee yet.
Okay. So the thing we haven't seen in Pertwee yet, I don't think, is like we haven't seen a huge amount of warmth from the Doctor. He's quite cold and dispassionate. He feels quite disconnected from those around him. Like you used to get the sense in this story, if he could have gone, he would have gone. So he wouldn't have he wouldn't think twice about leaving really without a proper goodbye. And I think that will change. I think my recollection of Pertwee is not that, but I guess seeing all these stories in succession, there are this number of times where you feel like he actually just wants to go and he couldn't care less, which is striking. So, which is very different to sort of Hartnell and Troutman, because both of them did have a great warmth to them and the relationships they had with those around them. Whereas the Doctor seems to be kind of just putting up with the situation he's in. Yeah,
because I suppose he loves Earth, doesn't he? But he does also love the ability to have a working TARDIS, and I wonder if he's sort of feeling a bit stifled at the moment, because it has all played out on Earth with the Brigadier in every story pretty much of the Pertwee era, so far. So he's sort of it's like he's yeah, he's like he's a rock star who's been asked to be a TA in a music lesson or something.
I think it's just that sense, isn't it, of someone who wouldn't be there if they weren't being made to be there.
Yeah.
And I can't think of particular examples, but I've certainly been in those situations where you've had someone in a group of people who's very much got that sense of aloofness and kind of like, I'm only doing this because I have to. And you're like, well, and when people are trying to get on and bond with each other and get to know each other, you've got this one person who just feels, who as soon as the whole thing's done, they couldn't give a monkeys and they're off.
Hopefully you don't feel that about this channel, Paul. When you're doing this.
Exactly. Now you're locked in. You're locked in now. But so yeah, it's interesting. I don't think I'd necessarily pick that up about the way the Doctor's been portrayed through these early seasons of his. So I'll be interested to see if and when that begins to change more, and we see a Doctor who's much happier to be there and more connected to those around him in that sort of unit family.
Yeah. No, it's nicely done. No, I enjoyed that, and let us know what you guys think in the comments, and join our Discord if you'd like to continue the conversation, and watch the full commentary track for this episode and the others in this story. But
if Katy Manning's watching, get in touch. Come on and react with us to one of your stories.
Can you imagine?
If you don't ask, you don't get, Thomas. So
we'd be delighted to have you. Yeah. But yes, no. Well, thank you, Paul, and thank you everyone for watching.
Cheers, mate. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.